Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Family Showdown. This is Rebecca here. Hunter is not with us yet, so I don't know if he'll pop up or not. He had to work super late tonight, so it is just me. So, I am checking everything and make sure everything's working, so if the audio is funky or sorry if the lighting's a little bit strange, but I can adjust the sound. Probably can't do anything about the lights right now. And as you noticed, probably there's no intro. I have not had a chance to have my lovely IT assistant help with that yet, so I didn't want to excite everyone with a lovely technical difficulty as I'm trying to figure that out. So I'll figure that out on my time, and then hopefully next time when I have to do something solo, I'll have a lovely intro. So we'll do that. Thank you, Dan. Sound is good. Glad to hear it. Yay! Good to see y'all this evening. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So sound and everything looks to be good. So, how many of you this evening that are listening in are heading to Gen Con? Anybody? I'm curious. You'll have to let me know. Because obviously we aren't. Those of you I know that teach are probably not going, I'm guessing, because I know in Texas anyway, school starts for us next week. So this week I have in-service, and next week I have a little bit of in-service, and then we start right off the bat. So, yes, and that's one of the reasons Tommy just brought up, hey, why aren't you at West Texas Tabletop? A couple things about that, too. Both of us work Friday, so there's nothing we can do about that. And then on Saturday, it turns out that the event, they didn't get the funding that they wanted to for West Texas this year. So instead of being able to grow and everything, they had to shrink quite a bit. So it's just a one-day convention. It's very localized this year. But we are going to make the drive anyway because we really have a blast. That's kind of where we got started and everything. And this year, we're taking the girls with us because they've been maturing and getting more interested in playing games and hanging out longer and things like that. So we're going to take them, and it's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to that because besides BGG, they really haven't done a convention. Even though they were kind of at Dice Tower, they really didn't do Dice Tower convention. So, yes, a lot of people are doing Gen Cant. That's awesome to hear. I may pop on and off there too as I can, just to peek and see what everybody's doing. It's kind of cool to see all that. I follow everybody on Twitter, for those of you that don't know, so I like to look at all the stuff going on via Twitter. And yeah, it looks like a lot of you are not going either, so totally understand. So what we should do to help with Gen Cant and everything else is make sure that if you play games this weekend to make up for it, make sure you start and sending pictures in and let people know what you're playing outside of theirs, because we're going to get spammed with all the Gen Con stuff, so we'll flood them with our stuff too. It'll be awesome. What 4-hour game am I going to play with the girls? Exactly. No. Now, I'll probably play a billion games in 4 hours, because usually it might be even the same game, because a lot of times if they really get into a game, we play. Let's play it again. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But a lot of times now, because they're getting older, I can set them aside and say, hey, you play this game, and I'm going to play this game. So I don't necessarily have to constantly sit with them, and since this is such a small convention and we know so many people, I bet they may even sit down with some new people and play games. Caitlin even mentioned that she was looking forward to meeting new people and socializing and playing games, so I'm looking forward to her actually getting to sit down with some new people and play a game, and it's pretty exciting. So, is there a 4-hour weight kick? No, this is not nearly as big as BGG, so I don't think anybody has any weight kick there. Very disappointing, I know. Someday we'll make the big investment. We should just we're going to have to get a new house and just convert a room into weight kick for the girls. They'll never leave. So, yeah. Any other crazy things going on, or questions, or additions? Anybody play anything new? I haven't really this week. I have been playing the Get the Classroom Ready game, so that's been good, but it's pretty exciting. I'm actually looking forward to it. Almost have my room prepped. Then all the paperwork stuff begins. That's exciting. Those of you that are teaching, you totally know. Let's see. Anybody have anything else real quick, and then I'll move on. So, Ooh. So Jeffrey says he's got the hookup to Gen Con. He's got some people that are going, and they'll get some games for him. That's a good way to do it. Jump Drive. I've heard of Jump Drive, but I have not played that yet. On my wish list? Ooh. Hey, Dean. Let's see. What games are currently on my wish list? Wow. You guys caught me at like the wrong week. Hunter is my wish person because he'll tell me about games and I'm like, ooh, yes, that one. And so he has this magical thing. And the names, until I hear the names about 40 times, they escape me. So I know there's a bunch of expansions and things coming out to games that we really love that I know are coming out. And Hunter has mentioned a couple. He's been mysterious. He said that there are some, I think he said there's some Kickstarter stuff that's finally going to be floating in the next couple months or something. But you guys probably know more, honestly, than I do about those. And I am not as excited about the new stuff as Hunter gets because that's like his thing. He really likes exploring new games and reading the rule books and learning the new stuff. And me, I'm like, oh, you know what? I really love that game. I'm kind of like my girls. I like to go and replay it about 40 times. So I'm happy with the wall of power back here, and I could probably get away with not trying a new game for a while, but then you guys show me new games and then I change my mind. So take that for what it's worth. But yeah, I can replay games, so I'm content. But you guys show me new shiny things, and I'll be all excited about them. So yes, Hellas and Elysium. You're right. That is one expansion that I am very excited. You know what? Jeffrey mentioned Scoville. That is one game that is on my want to play list. I have seen that. Warfel did a review on it for, I think, Board Game Blender. It was like a year ago. And ever since then, that looked really cool, and I've wanted to play that, and it just has not happened yet. And I've seen it in our library at our Games Marathon place, so eventually it's going to happen. Barren Park, that's another good one. Yes, everybody is saying they love that game. And from the puzzly aspect and the sound of it, it sounds like it's right up my alley because it's got the patchwork kind of feel to it and everything. That sounds really cool. Mission Red Planet. Yes. In fact, Matt, you can be my good segue here. All right, you have to let us know about your game, James. But back to what Matt said about Mission Red Planet. As a matter of fact, it's kind of on the agenda tonight because I wanted to go in and talk with you guys about space games because I haven't had a chance to do... Eventually, I'll do probably a review series or something when we get back to doing reviews, but as you know... The best laid plans of mice and men, right? Someday when I'm retired. But space games are really what I love. And what I think is fascinating, too, is that the theme goes over well with so many different mechanisms and things like that. And Mission Red Planet was one of the ones that I was going to talk about. And I would totally recommend this game. I think it's more fun with at least... I would say the sweet spot's probably 3 or 4 players. I don't think I've ever played it with 6 yet. But 2-player is a little bit flattened that you can kind of avoid each other. But area control is not usually something that I get excited about, but this game is really fun. If you can see on the back here, I'll try to put it so you can see it. It's area control, so you're sending your little dudes on these ships, and you can sabotage or pump up the ships or send them early so that other people can't jump on the ship with you. And then you go and you try to control these areas, and you can do things to get more points or give people less points on them. It is a really fun game. There's a little bit of take that. There's the area control, so it's very, as Hunter says, attacky. There's your technical term. But I love it. I think it's awesome. I think the little space meeples are adorable. The artwork's pretty fun. The fact that you have all these... Everyone has the same kind of action cards and everything, and you're using those action cards. I really like the way that they work. So I would recommend that if you like that sort of type of game where you like to do a little bit of area control. It's very light, take that. It's not super mean, but it is... you're trying to take over the planet with your faction. So definitely... I don't know... Matt, you're saying you're afraid it's too light. Do you like to play heavy Euro games? Because, I don't know. It's not a light game. It's probably a midweight game. It's definitely not a gateway. I think it's a little too complicated to be a gateway game. I'm sure that you'll get people on the chat that'll agree or disagree or whatever. So, me see what you guys put while I was talking about that. Let's see here. But yeah, Mission Red Planet. I think it's fun. I think you'd like that. Jeffrey asked, are you guys going to be at DGM this month? Yes, kind of. When we go, we're going to go on Sunday this time because Saturday is actually Nessa's birthday and she wants to celebrate it on her birthday, of course, because it's on a Saturday. So we're going to be doing birthday shenanigans that day, and then we're going to probably take the kiddos to DGM on Sunday. So if anybody wants to meet us up there, it's going to be on the off day for us. It'll be on the family day on Sunday. See, I've heard that about a lot of games about that weight too. With Scoville, they're saying like the 2-player versus 5-player completely different experiences. That's what I find with a lot of games like that. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm catching up with the chat while I was talking about Mission Red Planet. Yeah, okay, a lot of people are saying, yeah, it's kind of light. It has that mean streak. It's got the area control battle. Hello, Kabuki. Yeah, it's like, that's a good comparison. If you've played Libertalia, Mission Red Planet has that same action selection. You have the set cards. It's got that same mechanism, but the area control and all that stuff's different. So, and the theme, I don't know. Both themes are really fun, and I think they did a good job of putting them together. Okay, I think I've finally caught up with all the stuff you guys put, so huzzah! Okay. So space, back to space. Our final frontier. I'm gonna just go, since Hunter's not here, I'm gonna just go ahead and stack all my games that I put away. So, we've done our first one, Mission Red Planet. One thing that I noticed about space games that I think has the appeal to me is I like it as a theme because it encompasses so many things, right? It's its own, it's the universe, so you can do so many different things with it. We've got different IPs like Star Trek and Star Wars, Firefly. You've got all these fantastic sci-fi fantasy sagas out in space. You can do some little minor aspect where you've got games with little ships and that's it. You could do something with planets. I've seen beautiful game. I think someone, was it called Moons? I think it was. The artwork looked gorgeous and it was just, all I could see, I haven't played it yet, but it looked like it was just pictures of planets and moons and stuff, and it looked absolutely gorgeous. So I don't know, there's just something enduring about that theme and the exploration and the unknown, and you can kind of tweak your fantasy with that in your imagination. So I was just going to spend some time, I don't know, just enjoying my favorite theme and talking about some of the games that we have that are space themed. I didn't pull down some of the big ones off the top of the shelf, so we'll just mention them, but I'll show you some of the stuff that I can do for that. Oh, yes, and speaking of space theme, yes, there is the Eclipse coming up, and it is during school, and our school district officially said that they are not going to have kids go outside for it. So, and I also work in a weather-safe classroom. I think I will probably, and yes, I teach Latin, I don't care. I can tie this in because, a lot of times any sort of cosmic signs were, either revered or reviled for superstitious reasons or whatever because they didn't understand what was causing them. So it'll be kind of interesting to see some of it live. And I know that the websites will probably get flooded, but I know NASA and some others are doing live feeds and stuff like that. So I think it's pretty awesome. I'm not sure what the kids' schools are doing yet. Since they're in the same school district that I teach in, I suspect they're going to do something similar, which is kind of disappointing because that was something that I recall doing for a partial eclipse, was going out and learning how to actually safely observe this. But now we're avoiding it altogether, so I'm kind of about that. But it's pretty cool. You guys should get a chance, if you get a chance to check it out, either step outside and carefully observe it, of course, or look online. I'm sure you can just Google it and it'll pop up with the links and stuff so you can see the live feed, which I think is going to be pretty awesome. So there's my nerd moment because that stuff's pretty cool. Yes, you're not supposed to directly look at the eclipse, especially a solar eclipse, but there's a special way that you can look at it. So you might Google that too before you go and check it out. And let's see here. Let's see. Mechanism that's here's a good question. So what's a mechanism that's underused in space games? That's a really good question, because I've got my games on the table just out of sight. Actually, well, almost out of sight. You can see some of them, I think. That's a really good question, because I'm looking right now and I've got a pretty good spread, a really good variety. I think maybe the exploration aspect and throwing the science into it. I think that's something that, gosh, I didn't even pull all these off the shelf. But that seems to be something that not a lot of them do. A lot of them tend toward the more sci-fi end of things and maybe less of the actual science. I know that there was a game that Kabuki was talking about, and now the name escapes me. I'm sure she'll pop it up in the chat. That was very, very factual, and it was learning about how to learn and discover the different types of rockets that you'd need, and you have to actually do the math and calculate how much power you're going to need to do certain space missions and things like that. And it's a pretty heavy game, very heavy game, and that was amazing. And it was completely based off of the space missions and stuff. It was really cool looking. But then there's and we have, our latest and greatest hit that everybody knows about by now, just because of everyone talking about it, Terraforming Mars. I like the fact that, again, it's something that is not science fiction per se, because we're working on this. It's pretty exciting. We were working on, at some point, we're not quite to the terraforming yet, obviously, but we want to go and put people there, and we want to get to the point where we can do something crazy like this. So, it's one of those science fiction turning to fact someday things, and they did a little bit of nice touches to it, and we've discussed that before, where the oxygen levels and the temperature of the planet have to be high enough to support life, or there has to be water present for you to have fish, and things like that just make common sense, but they didn't go into the fantastical end of things, and they actually kept it pretty realistic, and I like that. I like games like that, and I don't see a lot of games utilizing the factual science stuff in a really intriguing way like this that makes it engaging. Because a lot of times you get to those and you're like, oh, I'm doing a bunch of stuff. Because it's not always just heavy math. Sure, when you get into calculating it is, but, there's so much theory and different things that you can learn about without having to do all the heavy math, and I think this game's pretty cool. I'm pretty good with that one. So that would be my guess. I want to see more science and less... Now, I don't want to say I want to see less science fiction, because there's no such thing as less. More is always better in science fiction, if you ask me, but I think it would be really cool to see more science-based stuff. That'd be pretty cool. And let's see here. So you guys are still talking about the solar eclipse. Yes, you do have to... You have to get... Oh, that's cool. You guys are maybe getting solar glasses. That's cool. We always did the paper and the cardboard box thing and all that, where you look at it off of the paper and stuff. I always thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, if they've got special glasses where you can actually look at it. Yeah, the pin telescopes. Yeah. See, that's what we always did when we looked at the eclipse. I always think that's pretty fun. Let's see here. Back to... Sorry, I'm bouncing around a little bit, guys, because I'm kind of following your chat. Hector the Turtle was agreeing with me, too. Like, the exploration and some of the planets and things like that, like legitimate exploration in scientific games would be something... Making them engaging would be something that it's really underutilized, and it'd be really fun for them to do that. So, let's see here. Ooh, I see some interesting questions. They're a little bit off of what we're doing right now, and I will get back to those. So, yes, back to the eclipse and then back to the games here. The Kabuki mentioned that if that the schools, since they're not allowing the kids to actually learn how to go out and look at them and stuff, how disappointing it is. I would be tempted to keep my kids home too and do that, except that I'm actually working. Otherwise, I would probably be like, you guys need to learn how to do this. Because I think it's not an avoidance thing that works. I think it's more interesting to actually, hey, you need to learn how to safely do that and actually enjoy it. Because, I mean, it's firsthand science stuff that what did they say the last time we had a full solar eclipse that you could actually see well, for at least from here? I think it was 1979 or something like that. It's been a little while now. We've had a lot of partial eclipses that we had pretty good visibility for, but I think it's pretty cool that we actually get to see something. So, all right, enough of that. Onward to the games. Yeah, Terraforming Mars. Yeah, I think that one is a top game for everybody, because it's one of those that a thematic Euro. It goes in our list. We did a top 10 thematic Euros and not too horribly long ago, and that was one of them. It's pretty awesome. Now, so I'm going to pop up some games. I've got a whole bunch of different games that are science, sci-fi, space, all encompassing the space theme. And I think it's kind of interesting. I want to look at these with you and see how many of you have played these, because a lot of them have completely different mechanisms, and I think that's part of the fun. So the first one I'm going to show you is a little tiny game. How many of you have played Stellar Conflict? Tiny little box. This is kind of fun, and that's something that I don't see a lot of space games doing either. This one is real time, which I only have really one other space game that's kind of real time. And it's also kind of dexterity. At least for me, it feels like dexterity. You have for me, it's too short a period of time. And you have to throw down your ships and this and that. And you use the rubber bands because it's line of sight. And you're trying to see what hits you and what you hit and this and that. And oh my goodness, I am terrible at this game, let me just say. But it's a pretty cute little concept. And it goes really quickly. If you have a high frustration level, this would not be a good game for you. But if you want to play something just silly and you don't care how well you do at it, I thought it was pretty fun. So, I don't know. I'm curious how many of you have played this one, because it's a completely different mechanism than what you typically see for a lot of games, because it's real time. You're throwing them down, and you've got to think really quickly or just be really lucky or somewhere in between on how you angle your ships. I definitely have not mastered that technique. I'm lucky if I come out limping with anything at the end of this game, but it's pretty cool. So there's one little silly light space game. And then, ooh, now that's interesting too. Jeffrey says there's a scientific board game publisher called Genius Games. They've done some worker placement games about mitochondria and mitosis and stuff. Ooh. Leaving Earth is the name of the game that I was talking about that was really heavy, that actually was about learning the rockets and how to launch into space. Cool. So, good info, guys. Thank you. That's really cool. So, yeah, if you haven't played that and you want to play a silly game, definitely try Stellar Conflict. And then, on the other end of the spectrum, we've got the ever awesome... Okay, we've got the much heavier game. And this is co-op with a trader element to it. And that is Battlestar Galactica. And I know I've chatted before with some of you. I'm curious how many of you have played it. I know the people that I have talked to that love it as much as we do. And some of my favorite board game memories have come from playing this game, because it gets crazy. You don't know. The trader's not really revealed until very late in the game, so they can wreak a lot of havoc in the meantime until they get caught, or it's time to reveal or whatever later on. So it's kind of funny to see the accusations start to fly as things start breaking down and ships are attacking from the outside and stuff's breaking on the inside. And so you're trying to survive and you're not sure who's the traitor, and you do one thing that somebody thinks might be suspicious. Next thing you know, you're in the brig and you can't do anything, and it's just, oh my goodness. It's a really awesome game. I'm trying to, let's see, what's the player count on it? 3 to 6. I don't think we've ever played it with 3. We've always had at least 4 people playing this. And I can't really imagine playing it with less. I would think the more the merrier in this game because it is just that awesome. It's one of those... It's kind of like... I think Shadows over Camelot is one of those games too. I really like a lot of players. I know that one slows down in particular, but it just seems like there's more engaging. There's more stuff going on. So, let's see. No, I have not played Dark Moon yet. That's one on my to-play list. That looks really good. Yes. Oh, yeah, a lot of people, Hector the Turtle's saying Battlestar Galactica 2 is another one that has great memories. It really does. There's just something about it because it's got this great storyline to it. And while you're playing, things are happening and you're creating your own story of what's going on Battlestar Galactica. And I don't know, there's just something amazing about that. And I haven't even watched all of the new series. I watched some of the old ones a lot when I was a kid and stuff. So you don't need to know about the Battlestar Galactica universe to enjoy that game. And I think that's one thing I like best about that. They did a really good job. And if you're into Battlestar Galactica, you're going to geek out because, you know, you're going to recognize characters and some of the flavor and stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome. Yeah, if you... Battlestar Galactica, I know the new one was quite a bit, I don't know, well, they were both pretty dramatic, so anyway, if you liked watching it, you probably will enjoy playing it too, because it's pretty dramatic. It's the stuff going on, and that's crazy, because you just get overwhelmed with stuff, and you're trying to fight and help each other out, and eventually somebody turns on you, and there's a dirty Cylon, and it's pretty awesome. So, there is that. And let's see here. Now let's switch gears completely again. I mean, as you can see, I mean, already we've had Mission Red Planet, Stellar Conflict, Terraforming Mars, and Battlestar Galactica. All of them have some kind of space theme. Completely different style games, completely different mechanisms. It's kind of amazing to me that how well they all meshed, though. Okay, this one then, of course, we've got IP slapped on game. But it's Catan. So if you want to break people out of the Catan shell and you've got some sci-fi nerds, especially Trekkies, it's kind of fun to play this instead. This is probably, if we get rid of all of our Catans, this would be the one we'd keep just because it's Star Trek. There's nothing really different about it. I mean, it's Catan, but let's see, you can kind of see the back. I'll show you here. You can see that it's planets you're visiting, right? And you get the different resources, and your resources are like oxygen and food. It's much more. I think we've got dilithium. I think dilithium crystals is one of them. It's been a while since I played it. I guess I'll have to peek. Let me see. It's gonna drive me crazy. But they have for your resources. And of course, I'm not gonna be able to find the cheat sheet. I know one's food, one's oxygen. Oh yeah, dilithium and tritanium. Tritanium. There we go. So yeah. And it's whatever. It's Catan, right? But yes, there are some special they do some little tricked up stuff, but at its heart it's the same game. I'm trying to see here. Let me think. And of course they have I love the ships. Let me see if I can pop one out and you can see it. The little space stations are cute. And then so you got the space station. This is what makes me geek out right here, okay? This is why I would pick this over regular Catan any day. If nothing else, you should take these out and use these pieces. Come on now. You've got your space station. You've got your little enterprises for your pieces. Come on now. How awesome is that? These are your roads, guys. The Enterprise. I know. Totally nerded out. Not surprising. So you've got, let's see here. Largest star fleet. You get victory points. Longest supply route. Longest road. You build starships, outposts, star bases, and then get development cards. Same setup as Catan. Where is... I thought there was something else. You're right. There is something else. I'll spend all night digging on it, and I've got like 40 space games, so I guess I'll move on. But yeah, there is something a little bit tricked up that you have for that. So you're right. Yes, and people are asking, yes, I was not originally super excited about the new Star Trek because all the, like, STD, I'm like, Star Trek Discovery, why did they name it like that? That's just begging for trouble, right? But no, so all the preview for it that looked pretty cool. I want to check it out and see. The only thing I'm curious about is I'm a huge fan of Roddenberry's Star Trek universe, and I know that they kind of went off into the weeds. It's very loosely based off of Roddenberry's stuff, and I really liked the positivity and the humanity behind the Star Trek universe, and I'm not sure what they're going to do with it. So I enjoy it. It's kind of like the new Star Trek movies, though, right? I absolutely love those, but they kind of just dive off. They're not really hardcore Roddenberry by any stretch. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm curious. I can't wait to watch them. I think it's going to be pretty fun. So... Let's see here. What else? Let's see. Do you have the expansion for Star Trek Catan where you play on the actual map of the Federation? No, I do not. Oh, that's cool. I'm curious when that expansion came out. That's pretty neat. That might be fun. If we played it more, we'd probably have that. I bet you, I bet you Hunter saw it and was like, we don't play it very much. So he's like, spend my money on other new games. So, while we're on Star Trek, I guess we might as well. Of course, you guys know about fleet captains. I am not dragging that beast off of the very top. But, fleet captains. Oh, I have one of the expansions that we're about to crack out soon. Fleet captains is one of my absolute favorites in the Star Trek universe. And this is one of the 2 Star Trek in a Box games for me. I know, those of you that like Mage Knight or whatever really like the Star Trek Frontiers. That's very heavy, and it's very much into the Star Trek universe. This one is HeroClix style miniatures, and you are flipping the tiles over as you explore them, and you're exploring space, and I absolutely love this. You're going to recognize incident cards that are from the episodes and aliens and things in here. And then, of course, you've also got... Ascendancy. That's my other one that I'm still really torn. I want to play them back to back to see which one I like the most. Ascendancy is a little more fluid in how you explore, because when you go to explore the planet, your path to it, you can move that around until it's linked up by another path. So this one is static. You set up your galaxy or your universe, however you want to look at it, beforehand, quadrant. So you design it, and that's how it stays. You don't change it. It's just when you go to a certain spot, you explore it, which is probably a little more realistic in a way. But I kind of like the mechanism in Ascendancy where you are blazing these trails for your other people to follow and funnel through and make your new bases and everything. But you can kind of move that around. So if you see your opponents are starting to build up over there, you might kind of veer it so it's a little bit farther away until they link it up. So... it's pretty cool. And this one, Star Trek Fleet Captains, they've got the Romulans and they have the Dominion that you can add to it. And of course the base set comes with the Starfleet and the Klingons. So I'm excited to try the Dominion because they've got some special abilities that I know that Hunter was geeking out about that I'm kind of curious about too. The Romulans, we played that one and it was pretty fun because they're very sneaky, of course, the Romulans. And... they had some different abilities from the Klingons and stuff like that. So it was pretty awesome to see the dynamic of how they play against each other. This one's going to throw a wrench in all of that and all the tactics we've built up so far. So that'll be kind of fun. So there's those. These are heavy strategy games. Exploration, battles, you name it. You can go through these games, and we've done it where you're relatively peaceful and you don't attack a lot. But you're going to end up attacking. I mean, these are not straight-up Euros by any stretch. They're not close to that. These are definitely attack games, fight games, supremacy, trying to take over your section of the galaxy and that sort of thing. It's Star Trek. That's kind of what they do. And then my other Star Trek game, which is interesting because to me this feels very much like Star Trek also, but in a completely different way. Because the tactics... and the mechanisms for the game, just how the game is built, is completely different. And that's Star Trek Panic. Those of you that have played Castle Panic, and you like space, especially if you like Star Trek, you need to try this. This is my new... I could never play Castle Panic again. I love this one so much. It's Castle Panic with the Star Trek flavor, but it is Here, I gotta show you this because it's so awesome. So you can see, you've got the ship. So instead of having your castle in the walls, you've got the Enterprise, and then you've got your shields. And so you're trying to protect them, and you actually put the little, I'm on the wrong spot, the little blast thing when you beat up your ship. You put those all over your ship, and you're trying to survive. And then you're getting attacks from, let's see, what do they have here? We've got Romulans, the Tholians, I love, and the way they move around. All of them have different movement, and you actually move the ship. So whatever direction you're going, you're moving, and so everything adjusts accordingly, and you can adjust your shields. It's really fun. If you've played Castle Panic, you at its heart can pick up Star Trek Panic very quickly. Let's see. Yeah, some people I'm seeing comments of, there's no surprise that this is on there. Well, of course, because it's really awesome. I love this one. In fact, we haven't played it in a while. It's a good one. Medium, but longer game and setup, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are saying Star Trek Panic over Castle Panic any day of the week. Yeah, if you are into sci-fi, this is amazing. I don't think you necessarily have to be a super Star Trek fan, but I think it helps because you're going to get all of the little references in here, and they did some great touches to this. Some great touches. And someone commented, too, that it looks really good on the table. This is one of those that has huge table appeal. You play this, and people are going to go, what are you doing? What is that? It's pretty cool. So, Star Trek Panic, awesome one. Awesome. I think I did all the Star Trek ones. Let me think here. All right. Let's go back to our other much heavier real-time-ish, and that is Galaxy Trucker. So again, completely different mechanism than what we were talking about before. This and this game, we're going out of the IP land into generic. You've got a spaceship. Your spaceship has the generic things like shields and weapons, storage holds, this and that, right? You're going to have a timer, and you're going to very, very quickly, you're going to be flipping over these cards because they're face down, flipping up and trying to find them, and you're building them on a ship. And like all these other wonderful boxes, they have a picture of it on the back. Let me see if you can see that. So you have a basic outline of your ship. It's got to meet certain qualifications. Okay? So you have to fit these things in the shape of the ship. You've got a certain amount of time. You don't want your guns aiming the wrong way, or that might fire and hit part of your ship. Or you want to make sure your shields are covering a really wide area, if at all possible, so that if something happens, it'll protect it and you're not going to lose. Because if something fires and hits your ship, and you only have like a whole section of your ship, which has happened to me a couple of times, unfortunately, you have it like a whole arm of your ship that's just connected by one set of tubes, and you'll have a meteor or something go right through that, and that entire part of the ship just floats away into space, and you don't get any of those things. It's hilarious. It's got two phases. So you spend all that time and you build up the game, and then you get to roll dice, and you've got a kind of a quadrant set up on your spaceship map, and you roll and find out where things are going to be hitting your ship, what direction they're coming from. Did you protect yourself? Did you fire at them? Or did you have a shield? Or what happened? And if you have anything left at the end, all of those are your points. Usually people are like kind of hobbling in, and it's amazing. You can see who has figured out how this game works, because they end up with their ship pretty much intact. It's insane. That doesn't happen to me, obviously. But we played, the first time we played this, we played with someone who got the game, and he was like, and he hooked up and he had this great ship and he hardly lost anything. And then, I'm hobbling in with like one little engine and some space nonsense cargo. So it's pretty fun. But this is another one where the things that you build in your games are your baby, this game will destroy your baby. So if you're sensitive to losing half of what you built or more, this is not the game for you. It can be kind of high stress. So it is hilarious if you have that kind of sense of humor. If you take it too seriously, though, this game will just, you'll want to throw it into the water. Let's see here. Normally, I'm not a huge real-time fan either, but... Are you going to join us? Hello.
You're doing great.
I know. You can come join, though.
Oh, a minute.
Okay. Yay! So Hunter just got home. Let's see here. Ooh. You guys are talking about all sorts of stuff. Sorry, I wanted to peek really quickly. Ooh, a massive... Oh, wow. Jeffrey played a massive Fleet Captain's 4-player game. I have not done that yet, and that sounds really amazing. Yeah, Ascendancy's awesome. What is Fleet Captain's weight? I would say it's on the lighter end of heavy. It's a pretty heavy game. There's a lot going on. You have a set number of things that you can do in your turn, and you have to choose. You can kind of do them in a... You have a little bit of order play. You can play with it. But you do have to track what you've done and when and all this stuff, and make sure you've gone through all of your steps. And it can be difficult for people because you've got your stats on your ship and you've got your stats with your crewmen on cards over here. So you got to keep track. Okay, this is this ship and this is where they went. Things like that, and who you've used their abilities. I'd say it's heavy. Yeah, someone else said medium heavy. So, let's see here. Okay, that's checking up on, let's see. Galaxy Trucker getting some love. You're getting hellos. Tommy's calling you a cheater, man. You're going to have to talk to him.
There's a game you can review.
Oh, man. Oh, no. You need to review that. Oh, my gosh. He's showing off his trophy. Oh, man. Troublemaker. Do you want me to clear off the chair so you can actually come sit?
I'll pull this up.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Braggadocio. All right. Okay. One that I have over here that I have not pulled out yet and talked about. Another completely different mechanism we haven't really touched on yet. And that is dice. We haven't really done a whole ton of things with dice. We've done some small things, but not anything major. Alien Frontiers is all about the dice and using those dice for specific actions. And this is one that I like to geek out on because they went all sci-fi on us. Say hi, Hunter. You look like you're photobombing the box. So, they have Asimov Crater and Heinlein Plains. I mean, they named them after sci-fi authors. I love that. But what happens is you've got the dice selection. So, depending on what you roll and how many of those you have of that roll or whatever combinations, you get to do different things. And you're building up, you can slowly build up colonies and you're putting those. So again, you got another area control element going on here. But with the dice, you're also picking different action selections. You're getting resources that you can use to build other things. You can actually be a bit of a space pirate in this one. It's tough. You have to get a pretty tough roll. But if you do that, you can go and snipe a bunch of things from other players and make them hate you forever. But it is pretty tough, but you can pull it off. And they've got lunar mines. Like, you go to different areas and different roles will get you different kinds of resources, and you have to combine those. And once someone goes there, it's locked out with their dice until their turn comes around again. And you only pull off your dice after your turn comes around. So it's interesting to see what things are covered up, and you're trying to make the decision, okay, well, that's covered, so what's my backup plan? I still need to get these things done. And there's a lot of good choices. There's a lot of special abilities. It's a pretty awesome game. But again, if you like dice and you like area control, this one would be a really awesome one. And the sci-fi theme is really good in this one, too. I really enjoy this one. So, what do you think? I know you're shocked. You're like, hey, you like dice. And I don't like dice usually, but this game is pretty cool. Even when I get stinky rolls, I still manage to do pretty well in this game.
Yeah, someone asked if we like it better than Kingsburg. I think it's more of a game than Kingsburg.
Oh, yeah. Kingsburg, you're just rolling dice and then you get some action. You're just kind of like pushing around resources, right? That's what it feels like to me. This one, you're actually exploring this area and taking over and
Well, I mean,
fighting each other
there's
for
more
control.
paths the way you can do things, and you can go for the middle. You can get
Yeah.
some superpower cards. You can raid
Yeah.
people. You can do all kinds of different things. So,
Yep.
Kingsburg, like you said, is just a resource pusher, really.
Yeah. Exactly. So there's that. Pretty cool. All right. Let's see here.
You know, you forgot all the top ones.
No, I didn't forget. You weren't here for that. I said there was no way I was going to pull all those big heavy hitters down tonight. So we discussed. We haven't talked about Twilight Imperium yet, the mother of all space games, but we've talked about. Let me see. We've talked about all of them, but Twilight Imperium and Zaya. We started to get towards the big
Dean,
box.
what you buying tonight?
So. Ooh, Ellison. I wonder if I've been reading a lot of short stories from sci-fi authors right now, and the names are kind of a blur. I'll have to look and see if he's
Matt,
on my
I am
list.
very tired.
Are you?
I'm exhausted.
You're loopy?
Yeah. I've gotten 2 hours sleep in how many?
3 days? It seems like. No, 2 days, but still horrible.
Yeah.
So yes.
I'm doing pretty good, though.
Good stuff.
Ready for a road trip.
That's right. I discussed that already, too.
We have not played Rex or Dune, so.
That's true. Yeah, we don't have those or talked about those.
Yep.
Kind of along the line of the big sandbox-esque games, lady, is our big friend Twilight Imperium. Again, I'm not dragging that game down because it's like up at the top and has games sitting on it. But that's another one of those where, hey, if you want to set aside a day or a weekend for an epic adventure where you can do anything, you can build up your science, negotiate, attack people, build up your armies, science and development and technology. It's got everything you can think of and then some. That game is amazing. And what fascinated me, we've talked about it many a time, is with that game in particular, you know it's a really awesome game when 8 hours have zoomed by and you didn't even notice it, because even when it's not your turn, you're so engaged because you need to know what everybody's doing, and really on everyone's turn there are reaction things that you can do. You're engaged the entire time. We came away from that exhausted that night because your brain is on the entire time and people are getting into battles and stuff, and the only time I feel like we kind of took a break is you guys got into a conflict and you were in this corner of the galaxy where Megan and I were not. And so we were kind of like, they're fighting. You know, I mean, we kind of sat back and watched because it took a while for them to work through the battle. But other than that, there really was never a time where we had a break, so to speak. It was pretty amazing. Oh, sorry, lady.
Yeah.
Kicked a puppy. What are you doing there?
And all the times I've played that game, it seems like the politics always kind of takes a back seat. And I wish that was... Me personally, I wish there was politics were a more important part of the game, where it's just not just voting on a rule or voting on a thing that not happen or not happen. I wish there was more negotiation built into the game. Obviously, there's negotiation, like I want to attack you if you want to attack me, and that kind of stuff. But I wish there was more vehicles for negotiation and less combat. I guess I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, but then...
I like the whole bluffing negotiation and stuff like that. Like, I really get into that part of the game, and it seems like almost, I wouldn't say an afterthought, but a much lesser part of the game.
Yeah. Oh man, I was just thinking of you with the negotiation. The mega game kind of scratches that itch because there is a whole section of negotiation and nonsense, and then you have this whole area that's all about the attacking and military, and then that was pretty crazy.
Yeah. And that was sci-fi.
Yeah, oh yeah. That mega game that we had was sci-fi. Now, another sandbox style game that does not have really any negotiation whatsoever in it is Zaya.
Please don't attack me. Is that negotiation?
For Zaya?
Please don't attack me.
You know what? That's so true. How many times have been like, you are not coming over here. You stay away. Oh, man. Good point. It's not really negotiation. It's smack talk and threats. That's more Zaya. But yeah, Zaya's great because you can go do whatever you want in that game. It's kind of like Merchants and Marauders, but in space. So you want to turn to a life of crime, and then all of a sudden, oh, I've seen the error of my ways. I'm going to be good again, and upgrade my ship and all this stuff. And, oh, I'll just fly into the sun. Oh, no, I have to start over. It's wonderful. You can do so many things with that. So that's a good one.
Yep, Zaya, yeah, I like the fact that there's several ways to win.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can block what the other people are trying to do, right? If they're trying to just go around and explore, you can slow them down. If they're being a merchant, you can slow them down. I really like the expansion and what it adds to the game.
Oh, yeah,
I love the economy. I mean, it's such a neat little mechanism, the way they got the economy to work. Basically, resources get more scarce, and you can't just keep trading the same resource over and over and over and over again. It's just a really good way to prevent one of the flaws in the game of flying back and forth between two spaces, and selling, buying.
Yeah. Yep.
Someone mentioned this game here that we haven't played yet that we need to get played.
Ooh, which game? Oh, yes. What is this, the one you call Twilight Imperium Light?
Yeah, that's exactly what they said.
Is it? Yeah. Yes. So I obviously can't wheel off a bunch of information about this because I know about this much about it right now.
I know very little about it myself,
so
I do know
the ships look cool.
It has a Dice Tower seal of excellence.
Speaking of which, Blender's out today, right? Today's Thursday.
Blender is out
Board
today.
Game Blender's out!
Yeah.
Go check it out.
We actually did one.
Yeah, we're kind of getting back into the groove a little bit. We're not quite on schedule, but we're getting back to where we're starting to film our regular stuff. Look at the shape of the ships and things in this. Isn't that wonderful? I cannot wait to crack into this. It's going to be pretty fun. So, anyway, that's another thing that Space Theme has that I think knocks a good chunk of the other games out is the opportunities for really cool miniatures. Awesome. That's just me. But I like sci-fi, so there. Alright, so...
Tommy asked if we still haven't played First Martians.
No.
Nope, it's back here.
We haven't. That's what... We're getting back on filming, but we haven't gotten back to where we're filming and gaming a lot, so...
I got it out and
he looked at it
and got sad and put it back on the shelf.
We'll have more info about that too. I'm looking forward to that.
We have this grand plan of filming our Arcadia Quest and First Martian campaigns, but
it's gonna happen. We got new bulbs for the lights. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen. Oh, thanks. Somebody already saw our pizza segment. Yeah.
It's funny the sci-fi black hole.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you can actually see it on the. I didn't. Yeah, you can tell Hunter put all of our space games in one area, and I pulled them off, put them on the table. And was like, where'd they go? So, okay, I might as well pull out these two now because they're kind of twinsies.
This one we can just get rid of.
Oh, don't do that.
Anybody wants to buy Race for the Galaxy?
I haven't been violent
it's
not. It is not. It is not for sale.
As they say, this game murdered this game.
It did not.
It murdered it.
If you... This is the closest I can ever... This is probably the only time I'll say, yeah, the dice game is better. But I like cards, okay?
They're not cards.
They are two cards. Tiles, cards.
No, they're actually cards in Race.
Yeah. Man, I tell you. Yes, Dean, come over and play First Martians.
Let's meet halfway. We'll meet in LA.
No, let's just meet him in Hawaii. The weather's nicer. Anyway, the For the Galaxy series.
For the Galaxy.
What? We've got Race for the Galaxy. We've got Roll for the Galaxy. I love these so much because you're doing action selection again, but whatever he chooses, I get to do also, just to a lesser extent. He's going to get a little perk for being the one that actively chose that action, but I still get to do something. If I have, in Roll for the Galaxy, if I set aside the resources, the dice to do it, I get to do it too. It's really cool. And same thing with Race for the Galaxy. They're like, hey, if you want to, you have the ability, you now can build a planet too. And you're like, sweet, I can do this too. So you kind of want to try to choose your actions based off what you think your opponent may do so that you can kind of piggyback and do multiple things in a turn. And, of course, you're trying to develop different planets and resources and things that give you victory points. What a shock. The most victory points wins.
They're called something else, though.
It all boils down.
Actually,
Victory
they are
whatever.
called victory points.
I was going to say, whatever.
So
yes.
someone asked if War of the Ring was my favorite sci-fi game.
Don't you even...
And technically, if you believe that the Middle Earth is an alternate planet in an alternate dimension, it could technically...
I have a total nerd trivia moment for you.
Be sci-fi.
Do you know what I was reading in a Tolkien dictionary about the Valar? Guess what one of the lesser but still one of the Valar's names was? I did not realize this. I'd forgotten it. Nessa. Nessa's a Valar, people.
Huh.
She's good at dancing. Don't tell her. Yeah. So anyway, there you go. How's that for a nerdy moment? That makes us even nerdier than wow. Like, I'm going to tell everyone.
I like the fact
I'm just going to tell everyone I named her.
I like the
Valar.
fact that I don't show up one night and it's sci-fi Rama.
I take over.
Sci-fi Rama.
Well, like I told them, I never got to film. I wanted to do actually a film series, and we've never gotten around to doing it. So I thought it'd be fun to like chat actually about.
So you're gonna update your top 5 sci-fi movies? I mean, not movies.
Movies, no.
I mean games.
Games? Oh, man.
I just had a Healy moment.
Oh, man, guys. That would be tough. Maybe around the time when I do my top 100, I could do it. Right now, I'd be so hard-pressed to pick a top 5. It'd be really tough.
Yeah, I'd probably get that top 5.
Yep.
What'd you say about Cosmic Encounter where you played that? Like,
we haven't gone there yet.
Oh.
Everything on the table I haven't gotten to
because
yet.
we played that once like
Way to go,
4
spoilers.
years ago.
Such a
I thought those were the duns. I shouldn't tell them all the games that are over there?
No, you shouldn't. I'm stacking the games out of sight as I go through them.
Oh, so you've done all those already?
Uh-huh. Yeah, welcome to the party. Man. Crashes the party, causes a ruckus, derails our train.
Star Wars or Lord of the Rings? Lord of the Rings destroys Star Wars.
Sorry. You're at the wrong place if you're looking for people to be like, Star Wars! We're like, yeah, Star Wars. Onward.
Best book series, best movie series.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Pretty
go
rough.
ahead.
There you go.
Dice is better. I just summed it all up.
Yeah, but they did... And this is one of the few games that I was like, when they did the expansion to this. Because usually, you know me, I'm kind of like really hesitant to be like, you should get the expansion for this. Because I'm like, now you're buying 2 games, basically. But with this one, they added the orange dice. And it changed the game. And it's really cool. I like having these wild dice in there and the different, I don't know. Just the way it plays is really fun. If you have trouble with all the different icons and the symbols and all that, Race for the Galaxy is probably not your cup of tea. There's a pretty heavy learning curve when you first learn to play that game because, yeah.
Symbols.
They have that in Rule for the Galaxy, but it's explained a little better, and they got rid of some of it.
And they use their words, not just symbols.
Yeah. Star Trek or Lord of the Rings? Oh, Jeffrey, these questions you ask.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, by like that much maybe to me. Anyway, Hunter's like Lord of the Rings. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, we're nerds. Right? So anyway, Race for the Galaxy, Roll for the Galaxy, and then like 10,000 derailments off of the topic in between. And I'm just gonna stack all of these games. You're gonna love helping put these back later, right? So since Hunter already brought it up, we have another space game, Cosmic Encounter. Tom Vassal's like favorite game of all time, craziness. This game.
Spoilers. He's about to do his list.
Oh, whatever. If it's changed, I'd be shocked. He still rants and raves about how much he loves this game. So Cosmic Encounter, to me, the little bit I haven't played it. Very much at all. It's not as much, it's not my strength because this game really centers around full interaction with the people around your table.
Yeah.
And negotiating and kind of doing the wheeling and dealing. And I am too straight-laced to play a game like that very well. Unfortunately, I don't usually negotiate very well with that.
Yeah, this brings very much, you have to be active in the game or you're not going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be points where you're going to betray people and do all sorts of stuff like that.
Yep.
I think it's fun. I wish I could play it more.
Yeah, that's one thing.
It's one of those 3-player games.
It's a 3-player game, and there's really no 2-player variant to something like that. There's no way to do that.
I don't trade with you.
So yeah,
I don't help you.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I found with, again, I'm still kind of learning this game, so the timing of when to play your cards and when not to, and things sometimes, or not getting the card or running out of the cards that you need. I was kind of like, oh, what do I do now? And everyone else is like wheeling and dealing, and I'm like, I need to come up ahead of time with my backup plans for that stuff, because I'm like, I don't know what I like to plan everything out, and this game has, you've got to be flexible and able to kind of roll with the punches and everything, so. But it's pretty fun. And yes, this is one that I think it would be fun to play more. And all the different... It's going to be really hard to play the same game twice because there's so many different aliens and the special abilities, and
the cards are going to come out different.
Cards are always going to come out different.
Deals. You're going to...
Different people.
You're going to attack people randomly, and
yeah,
it randomizes who attacks who, and all sorts of stuff like that.
Yep. Wow, we just started like an epic battle of what's best in the
genres,
the genre and stuff. This is great.
I got a story about Game of Thrones. Someone mentioned Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings. So way back in the day, I read the very first Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's right,
book,
you did.
And I absolutely and totally loved it. I'm like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And then after waiting 2 years for the second book to come out, I said I'm not reading another one of his books until they're all done. So I haven't read another book since, and therefore I haven't watched the show because I don't want to spoil the books.
And he better not die before he finishes that series, because if he pulls a Robert Jordan, I'll be very angry, because I would like to see that series end from what you've said.
It was amazing, but I was like, he takes like three or 4 years between books. It's crazy.
Yeah, because isn't the series like kind of ahead of the books now or something?
The TV show's actually ahead of the books.
It's like, come on, dude. He's not allowed to take a coffee break. He needs to sit down and just crank those out. I'm just saying. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I'm going to have to, when we go to the Q&A section real quick, we'll have to look at some of the questions, because I've seen some comments and stuff. But, okay, I'm going to try to wrap it up because I know we're getting close to an hour and stuff. Yeah, I started at 9.
1 hour and 2 minutes. You're
goodness.
You're over.
Whatever. I don't care.
All right, rapid fire the last last 4 games.
Eclipse, awesome game, very tacky.
Very Euro-y.
Euro-y and attacky?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it kind of is.
The tech tree is very, very
That's
Euro-y.
true. I forgot it has the cool tech tree.
It has the thing I like
game.
in games is kind of, I guess, newish, is where you... as you upgrade, you take things off, and you get more powerful by doing that. You move them to somewhere else. So as you do things, it increases your power, like Scythe, and some other games have that little mechanism. I like that.
Yep. So good game, plays pretty quickly. 30 minutes per person. So for us, that's in our sweet spot. It's like an hour to play. Go for it. Good game. Very good game. Next up, another mechanism we haven't talked about much, especially in space, and that would be like deck building and stuff, and Eminent Domain. Oh, it fits a really cool niche. I have fun with this. The theme is probably not the heaviest with that. You could probably slap just about anything on this one, but it's a fun idea, and I think maybe with some tweaking they could actually add more theme to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good little deck builder, and it has that... you take an action, everyone else gets a lesser action thing going on and stuff like that. It's a fun little game.
Yeah.
It seems like it ends really abruptly, though, for me. It seems like you're just kind of slowly ramping up, and then boom, you're done.
Not like in a Uwe Rosenberg kind of way where you're like, I'm churning out so much stuff. No, this is very abrupt. Yeah. I agree. So, there you go. And then...
Until recently, I may still be... my favorite deck builder. You want to skip that one?
I was going to save the best for last.
All right, then do the other one, man. The longest game ever.
The longest game ever. Another IP, Firefly. If you're a fan of the Firefly universe, you will love this game because it is like a little Firefly in a box. Not the bug, the show. But yeah, I ran a little long for us, but like it's just because you're doing a lot of picking up and delivering basically, so it's kind of long for what it does. But if you're into the theme, I don't know. I think it's fun to ride.
It has all the characters.
It has all the characters,
all the situations,
special abilities.
It's a lot of cool things, but
Yep.
I think it overstayed its welcome a little bit. It could have been shorter. I don't know if tightening up the board would do it or what would do it, but I think it could have been a hair shorter. It says it's 2 hours.
2 hours?
No, it's like
longer.
It's like a 3+ hour game, and it should be a 2 hour game in my opinion.
Yeah. I guess if you were really good, well, no, even if you're all veteran players though, there's really no way to tighten it up too much. So. But it's fun. It's fun if you like that world. It's really awesome. But yeah, compared to the other games that we've been talking about, it runs slower. And then I hate to like rush through this because I'm like spitting everywhere.
Oh my
but
gosh.
but it's my so pretty deck building.
Probably my favorite deck building game.
Did you hear that? I'm just saying. Favorite deck building game. Core Worlds is awesome. You're building up your decks. You've got to have ships for air battles, and you've got to have troops for land battles. You need to have different combinations to take over different worlds. And at the end, you've got these core worlds that give you massive amounts of victory points. But you have to do a lot of deck building and strategizing so that you have the right kind of deck to be able to take over the world that you want at the end. And you're going to have to beat other people to it. Really cool game. I could play this all the time.
Yeah.
It's one of my top games, period.
I like how, like you said, you know from the start what you need to defeat all the core worlds. And so you're building your way to do it, but you also have to pay attention to whatever everyone else is doing. Like if you're going for the one that takes lots of air power to take over, and you see someone else building up air power, it's like, okay, do I need to switch gears and do something else? Or am I going to try to race and get to it first before they do? I really like that. I mean, I like games where you have a long-term goal right off the bat that you can work towards. And that.
Or you could be like me the very first time I played it and be completely oblivious to the fact that you probably should be looking at the finish line from the get-go. And I'm like, I'm going to build up all this fun stuff. Oh, I qualify. Oh, I hope no one gets
That's
that.
What happened. That's what happened.
Because I'm like, oh, I'm going to try not to stare at that one and hope no one gets that because that's the only one I can get.
Well, the first time we played, we really didn't understand the concept of the core worlds.
So we didn't really...
And I just built like an average... little bit of everything, so I ended up getting 2 core worlds because 2 of the ones had the needing a little bit of both to take over. So
really quickly, some Q&A stuff. Forgot about another one. Last one, I promise. This will be the last one.
There's more you missed.
There's probably
Space
more.
Attack.
Oh, I'm not counting this tonight. We're out. We're out of time, and I still want to do Q&A, and it's late. But Among the Stars,
find more.
I know you can find more because I saw them and I was like, I'm going to run out of time. Among the Stars, we'll probably come back to these again at some point. Among the Stars is another one that's a mechanism. All of a sudden my brain just went for Among the Stars.
Drafting.
Drafting, thank you. You're tile drafting and you're building up your stations and again, it's one of those where the proximity of the tiles or how many tiles away something is or if it's directly connected gives you certain benefits or detriments. And so you're planning this out. You also are taking from the same pool as your opponent. So you're going to be, if you're drafting from them, you're going to are you going to pick the card that he's going to pick or do you want to pick something that's really going to benefit you? And so you've got that tug of war going on and you're building these up. And the theme with this is pretty fun. I really enjoy this. They have the Fields of Green, like farm version of this, and it's slightly different.
It's got more resources.
So the theme for this one is my favorite by far. I like the resources.
Oh, really? You like the sci-fi theme?
I know. Is that shocking to you? I know this will surprise a lot of people. But yeah, it's another really, really fun game. Love this game. I can play this one all the time too. So there you go. Lot of different mechanisms. And I think that's one thing that I really like with this theme is it seems to facilitate a lot of different things. There's so many different options for it. So someone asked earlier... Well, I'm thinking, yes, and it was way up, so you don't have to go too far up. Go up to when you were on here, because someone was asking about games that I buy or use in the classroom. And I have used quite a variety of games. I'm thinking about, I was talking with Tommy actually last weekend about taking Latin vocabulary words and doing code names, like creating my own code names with it. And I'm thinking about doing that. I think that would be really fun. With my reading improvement kids, I have done a lot of word games and things like Apples to Apples was great because I had a lot of English language learners. So that was really fun. So they're learning like what cranky means and things like that, but they're all in a real low-key, silly environment. And they were playing that. I played a lot of that. Categories with my writing students. That was really funny. Balderdash is also a great one with creative writing. I really enjoyed that. With the end of the year, too, I threw down, with my smaller upper level classes, I did Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, which was hysterical. Because sometimes when we're done with finals, that's all we have is just complete dead time. So I'm able to throw in games that weren't necessarily thematic to class. And so I took that one and Zombie Dice and what else did I take? I'm trying to look over there and see really quickly.
So what did they learn from Zombie Dice?
What they learned from Zombie Dice? Not to push your luck. that luck is a fickle goddess.
Yeah, but
Fortuna.
I think games like Paperback would work.
Paperback's great.
Unspeakable Words would work.
Unspeakable Words. Storymatic. It's not really a board game per se, but it was good for... Yeah, it's kind of like Story Cubes, but with a whole deck of like thousands of cards. Let's see, I was talking about categories. What else did I take?
Scythe, you have to read the story.
Scythe. That's a bit heavy. That takes a little long. I tend to take shorter games that they can learn really quickly. Some of my students really fell in love with Fuse. I took Fuse for when people were breaking up into small groups, and that went over really well. I think King Domino would work really well. And New York Slice, I'd really like to try New York Slice, actually. I think that they would really enjoy that. A lot of the social deduction games go over really well. Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, that was hysterical to watch. Are
they any good at at bluffing?
Some of them are excellent at it. Yes, yeah, and a lot of them, because of the kind of thinking we have to do, especially in the language classes, it's pretty awesome to watch them learn a new game like that and learn what they have to do. And some of them like to play the traditional games. I have my ancient Uno deck that I've had since 1995. So if they beat it up, it's not that big a deal. I'm trying to think. I take a pretty wide variety of games. Ink and Gold, also. I always play that one if I have a small enough class. That one goes over really well. So, yeah. Kabuki Kid's mentioning Escape from the Aliens in Outer Space. That's a great game. That's fun. We don't own it, but we played it, and that is fun.
What did you do for your random review? Did you do one?
Oh, I didn't do a random review. We did some Q&A and talked about the Eclipse coming
like
up.
50 games.
Yeah, we did a pretty random reviewing.
I did some research on the Eclipse.
Okay.
April 8th, 2024.
Yes, is the next one.
It's going right over us.
Oh, is it really?
Like, we could walk out our door and look up, and it's right over
The
our
sun
head.
is like...
And they say, in a TED Talk, it only happens every 400 years. You pick any spot on the Earth, and it only happens
like
once every 400 years. And it's going right over our house.
That's cool, because it was right over us in... Where was it right over?
80...
That was 79.
No, well,
you
were up north.
That's true. There was one when I was in... Was it middle school? Because I did go watch an eclipse with my class in school up in Wyoming, and there was a good viewing. I can't remember what year that was, though.
We had one, I don't know if it's a full eclipse. We had one when I was in high school or junior high. I don't remember.
Yeah, see, I'm trying to remember, too. But yeah, we were talking about it because I got an email from the school district. I'll tell you about it, but they're not having the kids go out to watch the eclipse this year. So we're like, aw. So I don't know if the girls are going to get to see it.
Well, it's only going to be a partial eclipse.
So?
I've never seen a full eclipse.
Oh, you have? Oh.
Supposedly, I watched a video about it today, a TED Talk. Mm-hmm. I highly recommend TED Talk if you don't watch those.
Those are cool, yeah.
It basically said that if it's a true full eclipse, you actually can look directly at it once it's completely covered.
That's something I just wouldn't risk.
No, they say that you can when it's completely covered. You can actually look at it and see the corona around the edges.
Yeah.
And you actually can look up and see stars and the planets and stuff. It's so dark. Yeah. If it was a weekend, we would be driving up to Missouri to see it, but it's not a weekend.
Yeah. Because Kabuki and I were talking too about pulling the kids from school to watch it kind of thing. It's like, okay, so we got there. Dune. We do like Dune. I think. Do you have the books?
Yes, I have the books.
I was going to say you have the books.
I have all the Dune books up until
them.
the sun started writing, and I read one of those and I was out.
Yeah, and then we had the movies, a bunch of the movies.
TV series.
Let's see. Yep. Okay, we did that. Oh, yeah, you guys are talking about Next Gen. You guys are awesome, by the way. Next Gen's awesome.
Well, they were saying the first season was garbage.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were just getting started. I mean, it
was okay.
Good.
I liked
Q.
Okay. Q was okay.
Q's magnificent. I love Delancey.
The characters were trying to get themselves.
Yeah, once they got in the groove, and like one of you said, like Riker gets his beard and all the space ladies, and yeah, it was pretty awesome. Yeah, okay, let's see here. I'm checking really quickly, guys, before. What's the top 3 Lord of the Rings board games?
Ooh. War of the Ring, Battle of 5 Armies, and everything else. But there's supposedly, that, someone said, there's a Hunt for the Ring game coming out that I'm curious about.
Ooh, that sounds cool. Yeah. Next Gen does get better and better, and their finale is phenomenal. What's the name of the episode where, I always forget the name of the episode where Picard learns to play the little...
Spoiler?
No, he learns to play the flute.
I don't remember.
I wasn't going to spoil it.
I don't remember what it's called.
I'm when I hear the episode name, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. That's a good one. Okay,
That's probably my favorite one, too.
Yeah, it's my favorite. It was amazing. Okay, you already talked about that. Riker gets his beard. I'm catching up to all the... I know I saw other questions. Oh, Jeffrey says the expansions help with the eminent domain with the theme. That's good to know, because we just have the base game. Let's see. Ooh, people are talking about Legendary Firefly. I don't know much about it, but yeah, if you're a Firefly fan, I hear that's like the go-to game. But wait, there's more. Read the book, play the game. Yes, of course. Oh my goodness. You guys are talking about so many different games.
Inner Light. That's the name of the episode, I guess.
Inner Light it is! Yeah! You guys are so good. Yay! You guys are Star Trek fans too. I just love that. Yeah, okay, we're finally caught up. Hate the
We're caught
stupid
up.
thing.
We're good.
We are caught up. Awesome! Wow, Tommy, if you play Hunt for the Ring in October, you can play as Sean Connery. Really? Oh my goodness. You're such a nerd. I wonder how many people still have seen that movie, Hunt for the Red October. That's like a classic. That's one of the few books of his I've actually read. I really got into. It was really good. I should read more of his books. Tom Clancy. All right. Goodness, we've gone
Did you talk about what we're doing this weekend?
Yes, yeah. I did. I see you missed all the news. He didn't get the memo.
This guy here.
But yeah, we're off. I'll try to do my usual
Twitterfication?
Yes, Twitterfication. Hopefully within the next week or so, maybe we'll do a combo, because I would like to do a little photo montage of our board game tournament so you can see some of the shenanigans.
That's not bad. We could do a summer
and then do a
review or something.
Well, and I was thinking we could combine it with the West Texas pictures or something, and
do
like
a summer review.
Yeah. So
that's cool. We can make an intro video.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So we gotta pack and get ready to go.
Yep. Pretty much. That's it. We're gonna head out bright and early.
Nope.
What?
We're leaving after work.
We are. Oh!
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because yeah. Ooh. The girls don't know that. I told them Saturday.
I guess
they're going to be very excited. They get an extra little extension to their mini vacation.
I want to get up and eat breakfast and be there when it opens.
Sweet deal. I told you guys it's all just that one day, so that's cool. We get to maximize the day. They're going to flip out. The girls are very excited. So that's pretty much what's going on here. Hopefully, with close week over, hopefully we'll be able to crack out a top 10 next week, too. That's kind of the...
I don't know what it's going to be, though.
Oh, somebody was asking the trophy. You guys probably, if you were watching earlier... Can you read? Ooh, it's very shiny. I don't know if you can read that. We always put duct tape and some kind of label on our oh-so-magical trophy. This year...
6th annual... Board game tournament champion, August 5th, 2017.
Yep. And this year, it was the decoy can secret safe that Hunter refuses to let me take out of plastic.
It's my trophy!
I just think it'd be hilarious to have a can of SpaghettiOs, like, on the board game shelf.
That would be
and
funny.
Put dice or something stupid in it.
Can we reseal it once we open it?
It looks like it because it's got, like, the pop. Oh, we totally can. See? Look at that. I got him to open it. This is hysterical.
It's an unboxing.
It's an unboxing of a trophy. That makes no sense. Oh, you just broke your safe. So it's an actual can. It looks like SpaghettiOs, but you're supposed to be able to see. It's hollow. You can hide your valuables in it.
Everybody's going to know where we hide our stuff.
I know. So everyone's going to raid our house for the SpaghettiOs can. I want to put those snakes in it so they open it and that's what I want to do.
Oops, I put it backwards.
He probably won't let me. But yeah, so we're going to put random SpaghettiOs. There's his trophy. Isn't that magnificent? A can of SpaghettiOs.
There you go. Have fun. I'll use this as my trophy. It was a hollow victory.
Wow. Really? Really? They're quoting Red October now. You guys have like all the same fandoms and stuff. That's pretty awesome. See, they agree. Best secret safe ever.
That's not safe anymore. People know what.
Not if we buy a whole ton of them. Good luck finding it now. Yeah, this is hysterical.
Tommy said the value dropped because we opened it.
Oh my goodness. Yes, this thing is so valuable.
It actually looks like a...
It looks like a SpaghettiOs can. It says, authentic label.
Uh-oh.
What?
Healthy SpaghettiOs.
What? Yeah, healthy SpaghettiOs. Although they are healthier than when you and I were kids.
It's a full serving of vegetables.
Yeah.
It's like pizza.
Yeah, pizza.
Oh my gosh, hello.
So yeah. Hey, our first blocker. How exciting. Bye. Alright, so, we took it out of the packaging. The gefilte fish is legendary. Ew. This game. Wow.
We've hit the big time.
I know! We got to block somebody down.
Our first F-bomb in our chat.
Yeah, I think we went like a world record.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. That's how awesome you guys are.
We made it. If we can make it here, we can make it anywhere. Alright, get us out of here. I haven't had dinner yet.
What? Crazy. Alright, people. Hey, it was awesome. I had a blast chatting with you guys. We'll have to explore space again some other time. And we'll keep you posted on updates and how the convention goes and stuff like that. We'll see you next week. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.
Or day.
Am I doing this?
Yeah. IT.
In Spanish, it's TI.
Oh, gee.